In this video, we will discuss about bone meal powder, its uses, benefits, how to correctly use bone meal, and so on. So let's start, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Bone meal fertilizer is a powdered form fertilizer that is made up of bones. It's simply powdered bones that we use in our plants for healthier growth of roots. Bone meal powder contains a good amount of phosphorus, calcium and other trace elements. With time, they gets into the roots and helps them grow better. Use of bone meal powder in our plants can be extremely beneficial if you apply it correctly, on which we will talk after a while. First, let's uncover some very useful benefits of bone meal powder. Bone meal powder is a rich source of organic phosphorus that is very helpful for the faster growth of roots. Regular use of bone meal on a plant makes the soil rich in phosphorus. That is an extremely beneficial thing for the faster growth of fibrous roots. And in result, they are now more efficient to take nutrients from the soil. Use of bone meal powder in our plants also fulfills their calcium requirements, and in result black spots and patches of the leaves wouldn't appear again. Use of bone meal in tomatoes soil can prevent their rotting bottoms. In roses, this powerful phosphorus fertilizer reduces the chance of fungal attack and prevent black patchy leaves as well. Because bone meal is an organic source of phosphorus, therefore it is a very slow release fertilizer that keeps on releasing its benefits up to 4 months. This is very useful for the consistent growth of heavy feeder plants like hibiscus, roses, tomatoes, citrus, etc. Using bone meal powder in succulents can also beneficial, as it have phosphorus and it is required by the roots to produce pups as well. Means bone meal indirectly also promotes the growth of pups. Stronger root structure is much helpful to grow more pups, as in use of bone meal powder. Bone meal powder also increases the fertility of soil, because it contains other trace elements also. These elements includes iron, magnesium, calcium and zinc. So using bone meal powder in our plants can be a super beneficial thing, by serving our plants' health in these ways. If we talk about making bone meal powder at home, a complete video guide on this topic is added in the description box, you can check out that. But it's much easier and useful to directly buy a good quality bone meal powder from the market. For that, a link is added in the description box. But both works the same way. Now it's also important to know the right method to apply. So for that, you just have to take a tablespoon of this bone meal fertilizer and add it on the soil mix of a plant. Mix it with the soil and add a good amount of water. Adding too much bone meal powder can be harmful and have severe burning effects on the leaves. Overuse of bone meal fertilizer also makes the soil alkaline, that affects the ability of roots to absorb nutrients. Means the roots will be unable to absorb the nutrients from the soil. So it's also important to follow up the right dose. For the best quality results, you should apply this phosphorus fertilizer only once in a month, in the growing season. For example, if your plant is growing fast, you can regularly use this fertilizer, but don't use it in the off-season. Bone meal is a very good fertilizer for the flower and fruit-producing plants that promote a very fast and stable growth on them. Heavy feeders like hibiscus, roses, tomatoes, and so on are the perfect choice to test out the bone meal fertilizer, as it comes in the list of phosphorus fertilizers. Therefore you can also use bone meal powder on the root vegetables and pop-producing plants. Phosphorus encourages the growth of roots, therefore it will give you beautiful results as well. So it's all about the benefits and uses of bone meal powder, but there are a few disadvantages of bone meal powder as well. As it is basically an animal remain, therefore other animals like your cat, dog, etc. may be attracted towards the soil. So it's important to mix the bone meal powder with soil well. In limited amount, bone meal powder is a very good fertilizer, but a little increase in its dosage can make the soil's pH to rise. So use only a tablespoon of bone meal on a 5 to 6 inches of pot. Bone meal powder is a slow release fertilizer, therefore it takes much longer to dissolve in the soil and reach to the roots. If you are also using bone meal, then make sure you are patient. So it's all about bone meal fertilizer. For any question, leave a comment below. And must check out this video for making bone meal powder at home.